Hello, hello, my friends. How are you doing today? We are here in the Junk Journal Jamboree today. And look, it's Journal Pals again. And we are doing another placemat to make a soft cover for a journal. And so I have an idea today, and this is going to be a little bit different. You know, I don't mind trying different. So we'll see how it goes, right? You never know, but I think it's going to work out. I've thought about it a lot. I've given it a whole lot of consideration and, trying to think of how I'm going to do that. So we'll see. We're going to see how it goes. And let me see here. Okay, all right. I am going to get myself sent to another couple of places before we get started. And hi, thank you so much for sharing me into Junk Journal Jamboree, Lisa. I sure appreciate it. It makes it a lot easier, right? When we got somebody else to help us out and send us all to the places we need to go, right? So what a fun time that we have. And there's always just a few of us that do this. Just a handful of creators. And Jimmie Lou from the Messy Craft Corner, she sends us this placemat. And then what we do is we make our journal, and then when we sell it, then we donate part of the proceeds to a charity. And so I'm going to do my same charity this time, and that's for the Alzheimer's Association. And so, that's dear to my heart. My dad passed away from that, and I tell you, it's a sad thing to take people from us. They call it the long goodbye, and it certainly is. So if any of you have experienced that, I'm so sorry. It's a sad thing and a sad way to watch our loved ones. But anyway, hey Carol, how are you doing? So this is our placemat for today. So I'm going to go ahead and get going. So now then, if you'll notice, for some reason, I kind of felt like this was kind of the direction it needed to go. And then I'm like, no, I don't know. I think it could go this way, the other way. But this is what I saw. Because it's got this seam right here, I don't want that on the front, because if we fold it like this is going to be on the front, and I don't want that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it around this way, so as we fold it, we don't have that up here on the top. In fact, it'll be at the bottom down here on the back. So okay, let's get going. This is what I want to do. I want to turn up the bottom of this. Now I'm going to make the pages fit however this turns out, right? So whatever pages fit in here is gonna, I'll determine that by when I'm done here. Now this is kind of my idea. I want to turn this up this way, and I'm going to turn over a little bit this direction to kind of where it has more of a gentle curve right here. I'd have to put it clear over to here to completely get out of that curve, right? And that's going to take up a lot of space. So we're not going to do that. Hi Molly, hi Susan. So we're not going to take up that much room. We're just going to put it like this. Now here's what I'm thinking. If I put it, make a little pocket, we'll still have this over here and be able to tuck something in. And what we're going to do, we're going to make kind of a little bit of a different journal. Hi Sherry. Hi Susan. So you know what? And it's not, I'm not really sure we can call this a junk journal. I don't know. We'll see. But I was thinking it would be great to be able to tuck some pins or markers in here for what I'm going to make. And so I could easily do that. It's got plenty of space right here. And like I said, by the time we fold that over and then fold it in half, you can see we still have a decent size of a journal. And let me see what that measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 inches right there. So that should work out. I don't know how many of you, like watching me and my decisions along the way. But, I think it's always fun to see the way people kind of think and kind of work out what they're going to do, right? And I'm not going to show you myself today. It's too goofy to look at. So it was a hard day yesterday, you guys. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Sue. Oh, Sherry, you were already here. Great. Yeah, I think that's going to be fun. So we're going to do this. And we're going to put in some different paper. I want to put in like some mixed media or watercolor paper and make it more like something that was just going to be a little bit different than it's still a journal, but it's not so much like a junk journal, right? Oh, thanks, Carol. Yeah. You know, I love watching kind of people and their thought process as they kind of describe it. But you all know I can get kind of wordy, but you know, I'm going to try to not do that so much. So I think, and I just thought of this, I probably need something to mark where we want to, you know, bend that over. And I'll do kind of the same on this side. So that's about right here. Oh, I wonder if it's even. Ha! That'd be good to know, right? Let's see. Let me grab a ruler. I'm going to grab the ruler and see. I want to measure it from this side. So it's about 3¼ inches. It's not quite. If I move it over a little bit, it'll be the same. But you know, it doesn't even matter. It really makes no difference. You know, basically you want to, you know, by the time that's folded and then that fabric is folded, it's not going to matter too much. Okay, so here's the deal. As we fold this over, we really don't need this part. Now, we don't want to cut it clear down to here because that is really going to make kind of a mess. And if we only have this much to turn up, that's going to be kind of a problem. I mean, it'll make it kind of thick. We could glue it like that. Maybe I will do that. You know, I think that could work. So what we're going to do, and I got my good fabric scissors here, you guys. Look at this. You know, the good guys have come out when I take them out of their cover like that, right? Okay, I think that might work good. Okay, so this is all going to be hidden and glued. And for sure, I wanted to take out the bulk of at least where they put the seam binding. I wanted to at least do that. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to take this. And you guys, I've given a lot of thought to whether or not to, you know, get out a needle and thread to work on it or what I was going to do. And I just decided, you know what, once you get out a needle and thread for something, you're going to have a lot less people interested in doing what you're doing, right? Nobody wants to do that. They just, you know, it just becomes kind of a pain. And I can feel how much of that bulk that has taken out of there. I like that. That makes it a lot better. Because we all know, like a quilted placemat, oh my goodness. You know, they're kind of thick. Okay, now, this is not the fancy bottle like Jimmie Lou has, but I had one of those, what do you call it? Oh my goodness. This looks like it's got, oh, this is a big mess, you guys. I had to cut off the tip thick enough to get the glue out. Oh my goodness. I wonder if I've got like, I don't know where a craft knife is. Shoot. There's a lot of glue in there that's going to waste. Let me see. Let me see, you guys. Let me find a tool. Oh, here's something. This isn't what I was thinking about, but this will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some glue along here to seal up that bottom. Okay, so if I put this here. Okay, so yeah, so that's going to cover up that. Oh my goodness, what a mess. I'll put it on here too. And just kind of... Okay, what I was going to say was I do not have one of those Sugar Bell bottles. I went to the store and they didn't have any at the place that I was. And I thought, okay, well, you know, that's that. That is not an option for me at this moment. And so they did have this other kind of bottle, and I thought, well, something is better than nothing. Oh, I was going to say, my Faber-Tac bottle I was squeezing it and it broke off right here, like at the bottom of the little nozzle thing. I mean, it just busted open at the side. And I used my other glue, and I, sealed it up for a while. But then when I was making that, that Texas size homecoming mum, and we were using so much glue, it would not stay. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I do not want to lose all of that glue. That kind of glue is not cheap. And so I thought, I don't. And you know what? At the Hobby Lobby near me, you can't even get Fabri-Tac right now. I don't know. It's been weeks and weeks and weeks, and they just keep having Fabri-Tac. I even talked to one of the managers, and he escorted me over to where the glue is and tried to show me, where it was. And he goes, oh, well, it must be over in the fabric section. No, it's not in the fabric section either, dude. I've gone over there. Okay, so now we go here, and we've still got this, this right here is still open, and that's what we want to stay open. And so now let's put some glue along here and down at the bottom. Anyway, this bottle was too, the nozzle, the little, nozzle was too tight, and I had to use some scissors and to even get it open enough to put glue out. Okay, so we're just going to put a little glue up here. You know what? Let's do this. Let's put our ruler across here at the, so we know where we need to stop our glue, right? So we'll put it right there and right here. Okay, so now we're going to just flip that over right like this. And just kind of hold that down for a second. Let me grab a clippy to hold that there. So now we've got a little pocket in there. Oh shoot, you know what else? I shouldn't even think of it. Hang on one second. As long as we're going to clip stuff, let's do this too. Let's take our glue and let's run a line of it. You know what? I probably should use my marker so I can see where it needs to go. So let's just put it right along here. Okay, so I've made my mark. And just put a little line of glue. That's kind of dark in there, you guys. You can't see it, and I can hardly see it. So we'll just put it there. It only needs to be enough that it will kind of make the little pocket, right? It doesn't need to have a lot of, it just needs to hold it and hold it closed. So there we go. So we got that side done. So let's move to the other side. Phew, okay, you guys have been talking a lot. Let me take a quick break and see what's going on. Were you using a vice? What are you guys talking about? Let's see. Oh my goodness, my goodness. Hey Ann, how are you doing? It's always a pleasure to see our friend Ann from across the pond. I love seeing all of you. Love that idea. Thank you. Thanks, Susan. Hey, Carol. And Christy. How you guys? Oh, thanks, Ann. She loves my ideas. Okay, thank you. You know, I love my ideas. I just like them better if they work out. How about you guys? You think that's true about yourselves too, probably, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do this one. And again, we're going to cut a little part here. And this is so funny because, you know, I hardly ever just use something and use scissors. I mean, I sewed for years and years. So just to use glue always seems kind of funny. But, you know, I'm used to gluing things for paper crafting. So in that regard, it doesn't seem odd. Okay, so let's see. Before we do that, let's put this around and let's make sure we kind of know where this pocket should be. You guys, I love paper, pens, and markers, and I always have. And you know, I can remember when I was probably about 11 or 12 years old, my dad had brought home a whole bunch of colored pencils and construction paper and stuff like that he had put in an Easter basket. And oh my gosh, you guys, it was like my favorite Easter basket ever, right? You just, there's just things like that you just love. So evidently, I've always loved paper crafting and construction paper. My great-grandson, that was one of the things that was on his list for school supplies was construction paper. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do they really even make plain old construction paper anymore? And yes, they do. And after you have, when you've done paper crafting and done scrapbooking and things like that for so long, that kind of stuff just, it's very, very interesting. It's like, ew, what am I going to do with that? Is it windy in Dallas today? No, not too much. Where are you? Is it windy where you are today, Liz? Oh, out in Abilene. Oh my gosh. Well, you got wind a lot out there, don't you? It's kind of like where I grew up. Oh my goodness. We used to get terrible winds. We lived along the foothills in Colorado, and man, there's winds that swoop over those mountains, and they're terrible. I remember one time when I was growing up in elementary school, my dad took me to school. I hadn't brought some stuff home that I wanted to work on, and so he took me to school in the morning before he went to work. And when we got there, they were telling us, no, we're going to just close school today. And you guys, there was so much like dirt, like fine dirt. I guess it's more like, I don't know. I would almost call it like silt, but it wasn't been wet. And it was so awful. And you just think, anyway, where the doors to the outside, to the west, to the playground were, the wind had blown so much fine dirt that you could not even, it was like halfway up the doors. Like, a regular door that has the handles that, you push against, like just doors, like in commercial application. And oh my goodness, there was so much dirt. It was unbelievable. And that's how I grew up. That was probably, I'm not even sure if that was a mile from where we lived. But that wind and dirt, you just get so tired of it. Did you know that out west, that for people that lived like out in the plains where where it was so much wind and dirt and stuff, and people that had moved out there, during the settling of our country and during different times, and probably during the Dust Bowl. Well, I know that's when it was, during the Dust Bowl, and it would just blow and blow and blow, and there were women that would just literally lose their mind trying to keep everything together, their families and everything, and trying to deal with the dirt and the dust. And they had like these people that would come. It would be kind of like I don't know, somebody would come around. You guys, this almost sounds like I'm making it up. I swear I'm not. And they would come around and they would get these women and take them back to somewhere back east out of this and take them to institutions because they literally had practically lost their mind through all of that. And I heard that one time and I'm like, that is so sad. But I tell you what, things like that, like the wind and all of that, there's only so much of that it seems like, a person can endure. All right. Now we're going to take this, and I think the easiest way this time is to fold it back on itself. That's one of those crazy history things. Do you guys like crazy history? Kind of interesting, right? Who knew? I remember the first time I heard that, I'm like, is that really true? Okay, I got to figure out how I can do this. Let's do this. Let's fold it like this. let's put our ruler in here and bump it up here, open it back up, and that's a little bit to the side. I'm going to move it a little bit. And now I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to squeeze a little here. Move my ruler, close it down, and then I've got that halfway between. And I should wipe this off. I don't want my good ruler messy. The red dirt, a red dirt ranch. Yes. You know what? My aunt lives in my family lived in Oklahoma, outside Oklahoma City, and when my girls were little, so some of my cousins are much younger than I am, and they were all girls, and my aunt, when I had, little girls, she had sent me some cute things that, they had grown out of, and one of the things that she sent were like some slips. Remember when people used to wear slips under dresses? And she sent me some, and they were supposed to be white, and they were pink. They were just literally pink. And it was from the water. Can you believe that? I mean, from all the red in the dirt and the water. Phew. Okay, you guys. Let me go back here. Okay. You get yours from Amazon. Christy, are you talking about Fabri-Tac? I bet you are, and that's a good idea. I'm tired of looking for it over there at the HL. Crafting with Sassy Chicks. Hey there. Thanks for joining us today. This is a fabulous place to be. Hey, Lydia. How are you? It's only 56 there, Susan. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Lynn. Oh, you guys, we went yesterday out. We found a place that was kind of a pumpkin patch, and we went out there yesterday. And we, it was fun. We had a good time. But I tell you what, it was hot. I mean, it was like in the mid-80s. And we laughed going, oh my gosh, this is a lot more fun when we were up north. And, it was like sweatshirt weather when you went on the pumpkin patch event. It's like they had a fun fall event. It was out kind of in a rural area. And they had a lot of fun things. They had kind of a petting zoo, and they had animals, and so that was fun. And they had their pumpkins. You weren't going out to the field to pick pumpkins, but they made it kind of look like it. They had all this, I don't know what I didn't pay that close attention. They had a whole bunch of vegetation, and then they'd lined up the pumpkins in a row down those rows. So it made it look, for the kids, it made it look like they were out picking them in a pumpkin patch. So that was cute. It's a fun time of year. Okay, you guys, so now, there we have it. So we've got our pockets in here to do that. Now we need to work on putting in a way to hold our signatures. They're not going to be sewn together signatures, but we're going to have two of them. So what I'm going to do, and maybe we should do this like backwards. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe I do it from the back to the front. So this is going to be hard. Maybe I should measure it and do halfway. Maybe that's a good idea. Oh, it's right at 11 inches. Cool. So that means 5.5 is halfway. Pretty much. It's a little bit less than 11. So I want to do it. Okay, now here's the other part. I want to put this on the back. I got this the other day. I thought this was cute. I'm going to put this along there. Doesn't that look gorgeous on there? I'm not going to flatten it completely out. I like it to have a little bit of dimension. So we're going to put that on there. So I need to make sure that my my little holes will kind of work with this, not be in the way. I think, oh, what did I do with my poker thing? Oh no, oh there it is. I used to have a bigger awl and I cannot find it. So this one kind of is bent, like it already had a problem with me trying to poke too hard. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Let me see here. 86. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably supposed to be in the 80s here again today, I know. Oh, you went to DC yesterday, Christy. Oh, thanks, Lisa. I love it when people say some of my ideas are creative. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know, is this creative or is it goofy? Okay, so let's do this. Let's put it, you know, I don't know how much of a, let's see, if I do 5 and 6, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking a 1/4 inch of apart might be too close. Oh, let's do this one at 5 and 1/8. Okay. No. Hang on a second. Let me measure it this way too. So that's probably about 1/2 inch. And I could do, yeah, I can get 1/2 inch and get it still into the cover. Alrighty, here we go. Here we go. I'm poking in there. See if I can poke it through. Okay, now here's my idea. I was thinking about this and I thought, you know, I'm going to have a decent size hole to get what I'm going to use through here. And at the same time, what am I going to do? You know, I don't think I want to use like an eyelet or anything. I thought about using, like, just making like buttonhole stitches by hand. And I thought, you know, any time that we take out needle and thread or whatever, I think it lessens how much people want to try and do it the way that we did it, right? So I'm thinking I just want to like glue the edges around the hole because it'll keep it from fraying. I'm just trying to poke it through here. Okay, so there we got one hole. Good grief, you guys, the holes might be harder than the rest of it. So 5 1/2, so that's 1, 2, so that's like 3/8, 1, 2, 3, and 3/8 here. Seems like a good amount. Then we could get 2 signatures in there. And the reason I want to do 2, you'll see in a minute when I do this, you'll see why I want to do 2 of them. This seems dangerous and scary. Dangerous! You love your glue better than thread. Yes! Monica, I agree. Needle and thread, you'd probably stop watching, right, Monica? Hey, Susie, how are you? Okay, so let's do this. We got that there. You know, I think that at this point, I almost need to... I wish I would have gotten out another needle. Now, I do have a needle, but I'm only kind of using it for a holder, okay? For a placeholder of where my holes are. Okay, there. So we got that. You guys, hang on one second. Let me reach over here and grab another one of those needles because that seems like a swell idea to be able to keep that where it needs to be so I can find the holes as we put our little fiber through. I have teeny tiny little thin ribbon is what I'm going to use to put through here. Okay, let's do the top. We'll do it kind of the same. I gotta do it through here. Okay, my edges aren't exactly square, but that's okay. This one won't be so bad. We don't have as many layers going through here, you guys. You know, the scissors. These are sharp, pointy scissors. Okay. Working out all the kinks, right? Okay, we got that one. And then kind of about right here. In my mind, this looks really cute. Yes, Carol, the holes sometimes are the hardest, right? Thanks, Jerry. Thanks for sprinkling out. How many of you have made a fabric covered journal? And you guys, I mean, using it like this, you can still do like a junk journal, right? This one is going to be a little less junky and more kind of artsy, right? We're going to be able to put our markers in and stuff. All right, so now I've got 2 threads. I couldn't find, these are some of those bunches that you can get from Michael's. I don't know if they still do that. I'm still working on a couple of bunches that I got. I had one for fall and I had one, must have been 4th of July because I think it's like red, white, and blue. But these will work fine. I wasn't sure if one would be long enough. Okay, so you know what? This is going to be perfect, you guys. I think this ribbon is small enough I can stick it right here. Hey, Jimmie Lou, the Messy Craft Corner. Thanks for inviting me. These are fun events. Okay, so we got that there. So we are going to actually, oh, wait a second. We're going to start from one end. I'm just going to pull it through here. Keep that other hole. I'm going to pull it through here. See that? We're really going to have to work it. Work it. Work it. Work it. Okay, and then we'll leave that. And now we're going to put it out through here. Out through the top. Okay. It doesn't look very straight like that, does it, you guys? It looks really crooked. It looks really crooked. But, you know, we measured it. That's what our measurement came out. Okay, so we've got that one. And now, let me see. I want to tie these. We're going to tie 2 together. And make a little bow down here. So I would need several inches for that. Several inches here. Let me see if I've got enough to do the same one on the other side. That would be cool. I would love that if they matched. Oh, yes, let's do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'll have the same amount for both of them. I just didn't know. I have another piece too, and I thought it won't matter if I had to separate them and make them 2 different little tiny ribbons, it would work. Hey, Edith. Hey, Deborah. Thanks, you guys, for popping in. I'm doing good today, Deborah. How are you doing? Okay, so we've got that one. And now, I can't pick it up. Okay, so this time we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go in one side. It is the cutest placemat. I tell you, they really were. I love the fall colors. Okay, now we're just going to pull that out. And you know those big, you know what? I just don't know if this needs a bunch of, you know, something around the edge or not. Around the edge of the holes. I'm not sure that it really is going to matter too much. Now, when we get it tied, we could dab a tiny bit of glue if we wanted to. Okay, so now our needles are out. And now we're going to take these and I'm going to take it and just tie it here and tie it in a little bow. Well, first, let's do this. Let's tie it in a knot. And then we can tie our bow. Just a little bitty bow. Now I have to say, I've never seen anybody do their little things like this. And maybe it's because it doesn't turn out. Who knows? But this is how we're doing it today. I can't find the spot. Hang on. You guys can't see. My little chubby fingers are in the way there. Okay, I just need a little bit. Look how cute that's going to be. I'm not going to trim it off yet. Okay, so now we just want to make sure that these are, you know, kind of tight. So, and I think we'll just pull it down like that. Let's see. Let me see what I could put to kind of weight it down. Or just pull it. I'm just going to pull it kind of tight. Oh, I bet when I tie it, I can tie it kind of tight. Just like everything else. Just like tightening our shoelaces or anything, right? And we don't want it to buckle up. We just want it to be snug. Okay, so I'm going to just tie a square knot there. Hold it kind of tight. There. And another little bow. You know what? I think it goes this way. So I'm just going to tie it over this way. And then when we're happy with it, in the end, we can put a little drop of glue there and make sure that it stays right where we want it. Okay, let's put this on now. And we can line up these little flower looking doodads right down the middle. So let's start with that part. Isn't this the cutest? Look at that. I pulled that out. I got that on maybe Friday. Oh, wait a second. I got it upside down. Good to know. Good to realize before you put the glue on, right? Okay. How many of you like this? Oh my goodness. Isn't this cute? Hi, Ruth. Let's see. Okay. Now let's put a little bit on. Okay. Yeah, I gotta order one of those other kind of glue bottles. Okay. So I'm just gonna line it up with the bows. Kind of tap it down. And you know, I don't really feel like every bit of this needs to be glued down. I think, you know, we can put it in some strategic places and get it glued, and I think I'll be fine. That's my story, and I'm sticking to that, right? With a glue. And we'll probably have to kind of tap some of this down at least to get, I do want these guys to lay down fairly flat like this, but oh my gosh, when I pulled this out and I saw it with this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Okay, so, well, let's see. I probably, let's work from this way. Let's tack some of this down over here. And my glue's getting kind of thick, you guys. And I don't need to tack all of it, but I do want it to get fairly flat. Let's put some in the center. I almost feel like it's getting too thick. And I don't always work with this kind of glue. I just know, and that reptile glue that I have works great. It'll hold fabric too, but this just seems to kind of work a little bit faster with fabric, and it doesn't seem to kind of soak in as much. Now, you know, and it's hard to know when you're using one kind of glue that you use all the time. You know, you kind of know how much you need to use of it for different things. Okay, so there we go. We got that down. That worked pretty good. And this one lays pretty flat. It's got a couple of ones over here that aren't so much. They need help. They need a little bit of help laying down there. It's like putting a baby down for a nap. We're going to help it lay down. We're going to pat it till it lays down and is happy. How's that sound? Okay, let's lay it down there. Okay. Let's put the flower down. I'm going to put a nice amount of glue on the flowers. And lay down. And then I can always come back and do some of that. But let's see. How are we doing here? We're doing okay on time. Let's put a little more down here. As some of my glue is coming out, it's starting to kind of loosen up and not be quite so thick. So that's nice. You know, whoever dreamed up using bottles like this, you know, that were made more for cakes and things like that. That's a brilliant idea. It's starting to get kind of thick. Okay. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, let's see. Let me wipe some of this off. Where it's making a glob. We don't need globs. We just want glue. All right. Yeah, so I'm up first today, and Lisa's going to be up next with Craft Therapy with Lisa. She's going to be up following me. I should have looked at the rest of the lineup. And then I think Lindy is going to be up after her. I know there's a lineup with everybody right there listed on the listed in Junk Jamboree. And if you guys aren't part of Junk Journaling Jamboree, I'm sorry. If you're not part of that, you should go in there, because then it makes it easy to watch everybody. All you have to do is just refresh your browser between people, and then the next person is up and ready to go. Okay, so that'll be okay for now. Let's do that, and then I'll come back and do that. But here's our little bows are down here. We just barely got it up far enough to stick out under the doily, right? And I thought about trying to, you know, stick it up through the doily, but it's right, if I put it right in the middle, it's where the little flowers are, and that would have been kind of hard. Okay, so here we go. Here's our place that we can do our little spines. Phew! Okay, thanks, Christy. Look at that. I know, it's fun. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. It's fun to have these days, right? Okay, so now let's see about how big we can make our little signatures, right? Can we do 5? I'm afraid if we do 5, it's going to be too what? If I do 10, I'm afraid, like, as we close it, it might be too much. I'm thinking maybe just do a different, and I told you I wasn't afraid to do like a custom size. I think I'm going to do them 8 inches wide. And we can do them about, oh, well, that's going to be a funny size. Like about, we could do 7 1/4. Or no, that's 7 1/2, sorry. 7 1/2 by 8. Isn't that a funny size? No, well, that's not right. We could try, you know what? Let's try one. It doesn't hurt to just try one. Okay, where's my trimmer? Oh my goodness, what did I do with my paper trimmer, you guys? Okay, hang on. Here it is. Found it! And so this is a mixed media paper. It's not a super heavyweight. So my idea is to put our markers in there, have some watercolor paper or mixed media paper. Let's try this. So if we're gonna make it, I don't even remember what I said. Oh, we were gonna try it at 7. Not 7. what I think and what comes out of my mouth, that might not even match. So if we do 10 inches, and then how tall did I say? I think I said 7.5. Yep, if we do 7.5, we wouldn't even, we can just put it in there without like trimming it at all. Or like rounding the corners. You know, sometimes for this kind of a deal, if you round the corners, it can catch in there if it's a little bit taller, which that's a, you know, an idea too. Let's go ahead and let's score it. Well, we've got it on here. We're going to score it at 5. Let's see how the 10-inch one works. Okay. So we'll put this in. Thank you, Christy. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness. All right. So I'm just going to slide it in here like that. Oh, you guys, I forgot my closure thing. Hang on. Let's put it in there while that glue is still a little bit damp. I had this ribbon and I'm just going to put this on here. I don't know. Let's see. Do I have, I think I have one that's a little bit lighter. Hang on one second. Looks like white. Oh, I like that better with the doily. I thought I like this kind of with the placemat, but when I hold it up here, it almost has a tiny bit of a greenish tint to it. I like the white one better. Let's do that. I'm just going to cut it in half. I'm so glad when I find something that I forgot just in the nick of time. This still hasn't caught all the way, so we got time to, oh, that thing's coming unscrewed. I need to just pull that. Okay, so let's put a little bit of glue in here. So we'll need to put glue there and back on the doily to hold it down. And put that down in there, tuck it in. There we go. Let's do one on the other side. Those little flower things, that makes it handy to know right where it needs to go. Put a little bit more glue on both sides. Cap that off. Alright, I can hardly wait to see what everybody does. It's so fun to see what everybody does when they've got basically the same starting point, right? And I know some of them are going to use some gorgeous printables too. Okay. So there, whew. Okay, got that done. And this still needs some little spots kind of tacked down. Oh, thanks, Lisa. You know, I kept thinking about this and thinking about it. I think that might work. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe that makes it 5 inches. It might start sticking out the front though. You know, as it's closed over. I'm afraid the edges are gonna start coming out. I think probably trim a little bit off of there, maybe a 1/2 inch. And it's gonna be an odd size, but I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch. That cuts it off 1/2 inch. So then that would be 9.5 inches wide. And then as you fold it and you build your journal, I mean, it's gonna stick out if you make it that big. But but I think I will. Otherwise, it's going to get really narrow. So let's put a few of those in here. So it's 7.5 by 9.5. And so we'll put some of those in. And I don't have a, you know, I'm not opposed to using something. We'll put, I've brought something with a little bit of, what am I trying to say? Okay, so I gotta remember which way I turned it. This was 9.5, so it needs to be 7.5 this way. I don't have a problem putting in some printables in here either, and using it kind of as, you know, part junk journal and part kind of a little, I don't know, I guess you could call it an art journal. So this would be, what did I say, 5, okay, it needs to be 4 3/4. Whoops, it's gonna slice through there. Okay. Thanks, Carol. Yeah, that I like the cover. I really like the cover. Now that did not fold in half. I don't know why. And so now we've got enough room for like 2 signatures right here. And so as you get your papers in, it's going to give it some structure. And we could still put in something here. Let's see. Let's put in something fun in here too. So it was 9.5. Let's go ahead and cut it at 9 3/4. Yeah. Just flip it around here. So this one needs to be 9.5. Boy, I'm glad I didn't take time to cut out all the little borders, because that would have been just a waste of time, right? So I'm just going to trim it here, and then I can measure and make it the 7.5. Look at that. And for this kind of paper, you don't really need to score it. It's just printer paper, right? Okay. Oh, thanks, Christy. All right. So, and we could, you know, and this is another thing. If we're not going to sew them in, you know, we can add whatever we want to as we go along. So now I've still got, you know, a pretty cover like this, or, you know, like when you open it, it still has something fun right there. Let's do another one. Hey, April, how are you? So let's do that again. We'll do, to cut 1/4 inch off, we'll have plenty of room. Guys, I'm really working hard to remember what I'm cutting. Did I change the time of the live of this one, or are you talking about well, I don't think I did. I don't think I changed the time of this. Did I write it down wrong? Because that I always try not to. Oh my goodness, I struggle with goofy things like that, you guys. Okay, and now I'll just do this one. So now both of those can have a pretty little cover page in there as well. And you know what? If I would have made these a little bit longer, that's the other thing. If you round the corners at the fold, it kind of will help them stay into your little spine. 3 p.m. Eastern. Oh my gosh. Sue and April. Yes. I was at 2. Yes, 2 Eastern because it was 1 o'clock my time. Oh, I tell you, time change is. Why can't we just all have the same time, you guys? Just why? Why can't we? I guess I better check for next on Thursday when I'm going to be live again, right? Make sure I know what I'm doing. Well, I know what I'm doing. I just don't write it correctly. Oh, that's kind of cute. Oh, if I would have put the same thing on both sides, if I'd used the same page, when I turned it, it would have been the right thing. Well, good to know. Good to think about. Yes, April, there is a replay. I'm sorry. Oh, my goodness. You guys, I can hardly wait to see what everybody else is going to do with theirs. It's just a fun event. It's not really an event. We have several of us, but a fun time. How should we say it that way? Okay, so now we got those, and then we've got room. These should be dry enough over here, our little pockets. If we wanted to, stick some little markers or pens or pencils in there, and then we can fold it. Oh, you know what? Yeah, if you add stuff in there like that, you really do need to have enough room for that, and your pages still be covered by the edges, right? Okay, whoo! Look, I kind of got that done, sort of, right? Does that count for finishing? Phew! Hey, Jamie. Okay, so I still need to go through and kind of tack a little bit of this down. But, I think you guys got a good... And I need to cut these off and put a dab of glue on these so they don't go anywhere. Although they are knotted back there. So, I mean, they aren't going to really go anywhere. But there's... there's the little bows like that. Oh, thanks, Linda. I have those. I should put those in my shop. I have several of those. I have several that I didn't really put together as a collection, and I should. We still have lots of fall left, don't we? I mean, I always kind of think of fall as clear up to Thanksgiving. I mean, that's what I like to do anyway, and especially where we are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I mean, it does not look like fall here. I mean, you're not getting that fall vibe. Now, I might change my mind. I think we're going to start having a little bit cooler weather, but still not that cool. It's not that cool. Oh, you guys. Thanks, Lindy. I appreciate that. Good for notes at church. Yeah, sure. That would be a great use of it. I love the soft cover. I got to tack. Did I tack any of those down over here? No. They all need these little sections tacked down. But pretty much I got through that. I hope that, trying to work that out and, make this, the little pockets and stuff. I was hoping that we would have plenty of time for that. And we did. It worked out just fine. You have fall colors in Maryland right now. I bet you do. I bet that is beautiful. How many of you have fall colors where you live right now? I'm kind of jealous. But you know what? I'm not jealous of some of you, the kind of winter weather I know you're going to have as we move on. I don't miss that, you guys. I just don't. I don't miss shoveling snow and trying to keep from falling down. Some of the rest of it, yes. Linda says she's from Maryland, Southern Maryland. Okay. April, yep, April lives up there. It's cool. Yeah, so many places it's starting to cool down. Really cool. Yeah, I don't think we ever... you know what? Unless you are somebody who likes to do, things outside, winter sports and things like that, I don't think some of us really are hot on that. So I like the white tie. I think that was a better choice. I think it goes better with the white and the doily. You guys think that was a good choice? East Tennessee? Oh, the mountains. I saw a picture of some places over there, Pam. It was gorgeous. Pretty fall in Pennsylvania. Yes, Constance. Oh, and Michigan. Yeah, Sue, I know I've seen you share really gorgeous pictures, from that direction too. So many places across the country just have such gorgeous landscape, and You know, the United States is so large that we really have just so many kinds of landscape, right? You can drive across. You know, one time I met my daughter up in Dodge City, Kansas, and she came from somewhere, and I met her up there driving from Texas. And on the way there, I went up one road, and you know, it was kind of like I wouldn't call it wasn't really highway. It was kind of the thoroughfare, you know. And I went one way and came back a different way, and the other way was probably just a few miles to the side and ran parallel. You would not even know it was the same state. There was so much of a difference, just you know, that small distance across. Just a fabulous you know, way to look at everything. Hi, Andrew. Thanks for joining us. We're just about done here. So you guys, let's go over in just a second and see what Lisa's going to be doing. It's going to be so much fun. I love watching these ladies create. Everybody has such wonderful ideas, and I'm so thankful for all of you. You guys, have a wonderful day. And if you make some of these things, be sure and share them over here in the Junk Journaling Jamboree, because we want to see what you make. We love seeing what you make and your ideas as well. Everybody does. You can use the same ideas and they're all going to look different, right? Where? Edith, are you talking about Junk Journaling Jamboree? Where? It's a group. You can go there. I hope that's what you meant, Edith. If not, just message me, okay? All right, you guys, I got to go. My turn is up. Let's go see Lisa. Thank you. Bye-bye.